Our Eucharistic liturgy begins in this room, this room of preparation, which is called the Sacristy. In this room, we house the vestments, the sacred vestments, and the sacred vessels. And the sacristans, who are responsible for preparing our liturgy, have most of the things that they need for the preparation in this room. You'll see in this closet we keep the sacred vessels, the chalices, and the patens, and other things that may be needed for the celebration. This door is locked because many of these vessels are very, very, very expensive. We also keep the monstrance that we use for exposition of the Blessed Sacrament here, which you see has been in the parish for quite a while, in fact, and was recently redone, refurbished. The sacristans, in discerning how to prepare for the Eucharist, they use this Ordo book, which every parish has. In fact, different countries have different ones, but the Ordo basically tells the sacristan what the feast of the day is, what the prayers of the day are, what the readings for the feast day are, and even the type of vestments and the color of vestments that the priest is to wear, the priest and the deacon are to wear. So they check this book first, and from there they begin to prepare for the liturgy. You saw the chalices and the patens. In these closets, we have the various vestments. You see here, the red and purple. The red is used, as you know, for feasts of martyrs, for feasts dealing with the Spirit, and for Good Friday and Palm Sunday. Purple is a color that I like to think of as a color of anticipation, because it's used for Advent and for Lent, those anticipatory seasons that lead to the greater seasons of Christmas and Easter. But we also use purple for funerals, because in some way, in a sense, funerals are a celebration of anticipation of a person's entering into heaven. And so purple for Advent, Lent, and also for funerals. And All Souls Day, November 2nd of each year. The green vestments, which is the vestment that we use the most because we have more Sundays in ordinary time, which is what the color green, that's when the color green is used. Since we have more weeks of ordinary time, we wear the green vestments mostly during the year. Green is a color of growth. It is the color that we use after we have celebrated the Easter season. The Church grows in the teachings of Christ and is instructed in those teachings, and so the color green is used to signify that. Now, in these vestments, you'll notice, here we have deacons and priests, and the vestments are not the same. This is what's called a Dalmatic. It is the deacon's vestment. The Dalmatic has sleeves, though they look very similar, and people will often call the deacon after the end of Mass Father, because it looks like he has on a chasuble. This is not a chasuble. This vestment is not worn. It's never worn by a priest. In fact, it is only worn by a deacon. It has sleeves, which signify that he is a servant of the altar. His stole on the inside is also very different from a priest's stole. The deacon's stole, as you can see, is, and you've seen these before. Am I this right? Left to right. This right?
Yeah.
Okay. So I shouldn't put this on, but I'm not a deacon. But so his stole goes over the shoulder this way, and then continues on the side, which is very different from a priest's stole, which goes over the neck and falls down the front of the priest. The chasuble, which you see, is an open garment. There are no sleeves generally, and it is, the word itself means little house, and this vestment goes over all the other vestments, which later Father Fan will show you. Finally, we have the white vestments, which are used for high feast days, for Christmas, of course, for Easter, for the feasts of saints, and even for feasts of parish feasts and things like that, for weddings, and any time there is kind of a high celebration. The vestments may be white. They may also be gold. On occasion, our vestments will have some gold in them, and there are vestments that are made completely of gold. We don't have any of those, but this is used for the white vestments are used for the high feast days. Now, Father Fan now is going to show you how the priest vests when he prepares for Mass. First, he puts on the alb. The alb is the first garment which the minister puts on and the priest puts on. It is a sign of his baptism. So it goes over his street clothes, and you'll notice that our altar servers also wear albs because it is a sign of their baptism. And then over the alb, once he is properly done, he has the cincture which binds him around the waist. Father doesn't have much of a waist, but when we were in the seminary, they were trying to teach us how to tie those things. Anyway, after he's put on the cincture over his alb, why don't you just screen? Oh, that's deacon. He places then a stole over the alb. The stole is a symbol of office. It is a sign that he is a priest. Again, it goes over the back of his neck and it hangs down the front. If Father is not celebrating Mass, then this is basically these are the vestments that he would wear. If he's celebrating a baptism, for example, this is what he wears. If he's celebrating a wedding that's outside of Mass, he might wear this. There's another garment which he might want to wear if it's kind of a high non-Mass celebration, and that is this cope, which you have seen me wear on occasion during the Easter Vigil and those things. The cope is worn. It's not worn at the altar, but it is worn during celebrations where there is no Eucharistic part, and or during processions. If he's going to the altar, though, he will put on a chasuble, as I said, which means little house. This is the garment that goes over all the other vestments, over the alb, over the stole. And again, only priests wear albs, wear the chasuble. And it is the garment that he wears when he celebrates Mass. If he's not celebrating Mass, he doesn't use the chasuble. There is one liturgy during the year when the priest wears a chasuble and is not technically at that moment celebrating the Eucharist, and that is on Good Friday, which is a continuation of the Easter Triduum. It's really all one liturgy. But that night, it's really just a communion service. But he wears the chasuble because it's a continuation of what we began Thursday night, and it continues on through Sunday. And the cope, as I said, the cope is used for processions and for liturgies when the Eucharist is not included, for weddings, for example, for baptisms. There are a few other interesting things about this sacristy. One is when we're cleaning the sacred vessels after the Eucharistic celebration, we use this sink, which is a very special sink. It is called the Sacarium. This sink has a drain that goes directly into the earth. It doesn't go into the sewage system, it goes into the earth, so that when we clean the sacred vessels, any particles of the Blessed Sacrament, which might remain after they are purified, doesn't go into the sewer system. So it's called a Sacarium. Here we have the place where we keep the refrigerated wine, and we have 2 on each side. And in these closets here, just beyond Father Fawn, we keep the bread that is used for the liturgy. The bread, as you know, is wheat flour and water only. There is no leaven in it, as according to our Latin tradition. The wine is made from grapes only. It cannot be made from blackberries or pumpkin or watermelon,
or even rice.
Or rice, or any of those things. On occasion, there are people who do have allergies related to wheat, and so we do have low gluten hosts, as you know, for those who ask. The bishops have allowed that. The wine, though, is always alcoholic, and so if there's a problem with that, one should refrain from taking the wine. In this closet here, we keep the sacred, the liturgical books. We have missals in Spanish and in English, the gospel book, books for prayers, books for baptisms, books for weddings, and any other thing that the priest may need for the celebration of the liturgies of the church.